famine. Aye. Yeah. Late night bangers, GunzPicks in the spot. Cash and tickets, got the bankroll hot. Dropping late plays, no time for sleep. Money line dreams, making pockets deep. GunzPicks on the air, shots fired, no miss. 2-unit bangers can't resist this bliss. Spreads and totals, we in the game. Late night vibes, cash flows tame.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Late Night Bangers on a Saturday. It's the final Saturday of the regular season in college basketball, March the 8th, 2025. It is the Shark and the Gun, a special edition here on Saturday night. I just got out of the gym. Gun's been gambling all day. We got plays. We got conversation. Guns, what's going on, brother?
Man, it's a beautiful time of the year. We are in the precipice of Saturday. Then we're going to go into Sunday, and guess what? It's going to be conference tournament week. And we're going to break down 3 plays to pay the bills. I've got 3 more to give you guys. And appreciate the loves, appreciate the likes, appreciate the views, appreciate everything you guys are giving. And please keep hitting those likes. Baby, 3 more plays. Let's give them the late night bangers, Shark.
Absolutely. I just clicked in to talk to Guns, and Guns enlightened me. We're going some obscure market college basketball. And why wouldn't we to close the season? 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific. In Long Beach, California. We're not going out there to surf. We're going out there to make some money. Cal Poly, to the surprise of myself, laying points to Long Beach State. But the Gun honing in on the home team, plus 4.5.
Yeah, shout out to Snoop Dogg because we're going to the city they call Long Beach, putting some shit together. We got the Cal Poly versus LB State at the Walter Pyramid, and 7 p.m. is going to be the tip on this game. And listen, if you look at these two teams statistically, Cal Poly does have the edge. Offensively, they're ranked 155th in offensive efficiency. Long Beach State is ranked 253rd in offensive efficiency. On the defensive side, Cal Poly is ranked 247th in defensive efficiency, but on the offensive side, the defensive side, Long Beach is ranked 313th in defensive efficiency. Now, when we look at Cal Poly, they're a strong shooting team. They're 53rd in field goal percentage. They're 33rd on the free throw line. And then you got to look at Long Beach State. A strong on a couple of key statistics, right? 83rd in three-point shooting percentage, and they're 68th in free throw shooting percentage. So I think there's going to be a little bit of advantage here, maybe to keep this game close and competitive with Long Beach State. Three-point shooting and free throw shooting is going to be the factor in this one. Then you got to look at Long Beach State. They have been a backable team as far as the betting market is concerned, especially lately. 6-1 ATS in the last 7 games, 4-1 ATS in the last 5 home games. And then you got to look at Cal Poly in this situation, especially on the road. They've kind of underperformed, right? 3-8 ATS in their last 11 road games. And then you got to look at the factor that Long Beach State has lost 14 straight games straight up. And most of it was versus conference opponents. In their last 7 games, the line has just been shrinking and getting lower and lower. But this team has found ways to cover the spread. Like I said, 6-1 ATS in the last 7 games. This team is due for a win. It's the last game of the season. They're playing at home. High motivational spot against a Cal Poly team that beat them in the first. So I think this is going to be a spot we're going to be hammering Long Beach State here. And that's why it's my dog of the day. Give me Long Beach State. Plus 4.5 as the dog of the day.
Top dogs out here on Saturday night, 6:42 Eastern, 3:42 Pacific. But we're going to Texas for the next game. Tarleton State. Gun said Texas. I was thinking Longhorns, Red Raiders. No, Tarleton State. Not exactly household, but this is how you make money in college basketball. 12-8 in conference, 12-18 overall, 7-8 in the WAC. Fading Utah Valley, who is 14-1 in conference. Gun thinks maybe an outright loss to close the season. Tarleton State plus 6.5.
Yeah, they're playing as a short dog here at Wisdom Gym in Stevensville, Texas. 8 p.m. Is going to be the tip on this one, and the crowd should be rocking here for Tarleton State against their conference rival in Utah Valley. And let me tell you why. You look at the statistics, yeah, it tells you everything. Utah Valley is definitely the better team in this situation. 193rd in offensive efficiency. You got Tarleton State that's ranked 358th in offensive efficiency. On the defensive side, Charlton State is ranked 114th in offensive efficiency. However, Utah Valley is ranked 83rd in defensive efficiency. Charlton State has the edge from the free throw line, though. So this is going to be key as they get down the stretch and you're trying to cover spreads because they're 156th in free throw percentage, where Utah Valley is ranked 309th in the country in that statistic. Then you got to look at Charlton State. Is playing at home in this spot. They performed very well, and it shows in their numbers. Offensively, they averaged 67.3 points per game at home versus 56.9 points per game on the road. On the defensive side, they hold their opponents to 62.8 points per game at home versus 74.3 points per game on the road. So there's a big variable there from home versus away splits. Then you got to look. It shows in the numbers as far as covering spreads. They're 8-0 ATS in the last 8 home games. So this is a team that's playing red hot at home. Then you got to look at Utah Valley. On the road, they tend to regress. Statistically, it shows. On the offensive side, Utah Valley averages 81.2 points per game at home. But on the road, they average 70.4 points per game on the road. Defensively, they hold their opponents at 62.6 points per game at home. Not on the road, though. 72.6 points per game given up to opponents on the road. Then, yes, statistically, you look at the ATS record on the road, 6-7 ATS in their 13 game sample size on the road. But in the last 4, they're 1-3 ATS. So this is a team that's cratering down. Last time these two teams met, Utah Valley absolutely dominated Charlton State, 81-56, 14-point home favorites in that situation. Now you see the line going down to 6.5. This tells me everything you need to know. This Charlton State team is going to be highly motivated at Wisdom Gym to get the crowd rocking and go and play a very competitive game here. Maybe win the game. I'm not going to say from a betting standpoint, we're going to take them on the money line. We're just going to play with the spread. Give me Charlton State here, plus 6.5 as the play.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a great name of a gym when you're making a sharp play. Wisdom Gym. The Gun dropping some wisdom here on a beautiful Saturday night in March. In the third play, we're finally getting some big conference basketball. And not coincidentally, as the Gun let me know when we introed our little pregame here, the buy hat is engaged. Great to be back with you guys on X and YouTube. And, of course, with the Gun, Poly Pavilion, 8 o'clock, 5 Pacific, Fox Sports, UCLA, minus 9.5.
Yeah, okay. Let's get out of the garbage. Let's get out of the mid-majors. Let's play some real college basketball. Let's go into the Big Ten. We used to love this in the Pac-12, but we have a good rivalry nonetheless here in a different conference. USC versus UCLA in Poly Pavilion, Los Angeles, California, 8 p.m. is going to be the tip on this one. Then, look, when you look at USC this year, their strength has been their offense. They're 37th in offensive efficiency, 45th in field goal percentage, but they are 256 on the offensive rebounding and 116th in the country in free throw percentage. But they're going against a UCLA team that is top 20 in defensive categories here. 17th in defensive efficiency, 6th in turnover percentage, and the 34th in steals. I think there's going to be some sloppy basketball here from the Trojans, and UCLA is going to capitalize in this spot. On the offensive side here for UCLA, they're top 50 as far as numbers are concerned. They're 45th in offensive efficiency, 86th in field goal percentage, 94th in offensive rebounding. And then they're going against the defense as 105th in defensive efficiency, 233rd in opposing field goal percentage. So there's going to get open shots in this game. And they also allow their opponents to get to the free throw line in the Trojans, giving up they're 253rd ranked in the country as far as opposing free throw attempts per game. So this is going to play into what UCLA, the Bruins, are going to want to do here. UCLA has done well in these types of situations as far as the lines, the spread in this game. 3-1 ATS is a single-digit favorite of more than 5 points. They're also 5-2 ATS in their last 7 home games. UCLA, on the other side, has not played good basketball as of late. They're 2-6 straight up and ATS in the last 8 games. They're also 1-6 ATS as a single-digit jog of 5 points or more. Last time these two teams met, the line was 1.5 here for UCLA. UCLA did win that game 82-76, but the line is completely shifted to an overinflated number, making them a higher favorite here. So I think this UCLA team has a little bit more to play for. While they're already listed as in the tournament per Joe Lunardi and the bracketology, there's still games to play that they're going to have to win to stay into their spot. So I think UCLA is motivated, and you have a USC team that is 15-15 on the year. They have nothing to play for in this one. They just want the season to be over. They want to go home. They want to go drink their lattes. They want to go hang out in LA and just like party on the strip and get some red. I don't know what they want to do, but I think UCLA really wants something to play for because they want to go play in the NCAA tournament. So UCLA is the spot. UCLA -9.5 as the play.
3 top plays from the Gun, 10.5 fast minutes, Guns. Let's talk a couple other games as we usually do when we do these pop-up shows. I know Duke and North Carolina are tipping off as we speak. You're a Duke fan, as I think people probably know, tuning into your shows twice a day, every day. I mean, this guy works harder than anybody. He said it to me. I believe it. I wouldn't say it if I didn't buy into it. The Gun at work in March. But what do you think about the Duke side today?
So the Duke side here, I think they're like a -9.5, -10 point spread, double-digit favorite on this one. I think the line is warranted on this one. If you want anything to do with Duke in a lot of these situations, I believe Duke is on a huge ATS streak when it comes to the first half. I would probably look at the first half line on this one. I think it's sitting at -6, -6.5 on that one, which is giving you the weight to one side. Knowing that the line is -9.5 or -10, I'd probably play this in the first half, knowing that this team has other things on their mind coming up. Of course, the conference tournament is going to be coming up. They have the NCAA tournament to think about. There's bigger picture here for this Duke team. However, UNC is playing the rival. They got their butt thumped in Cameron Indoor the first time these two teams played. So, yeah, there is a motivational factor, but I think it happens more in the second half if this team even wants to compete with Duke. So I think first half is probably the spot on this one. I wouldn't play it any other way. A full game, so be it. But first half lean, but no official for me.
Yeah, I mean, Guns and I talk off the record constantly. And I believe it was a couple of weeks ago we were talking about Duke just laying these heavy figures. And I was saying, actually, having not followed college basketball closely, as you guys know, but, you know, when John Shire became the coach, not Coach K, I'm seeing these big numbers. I'm like, this program is for real again, right, Guns? And he's like, yeah, like this is a unit of a team. And, of course, Cooper Flagg now talking about, you know, maybe not going to the league because NIL is paying so well. You know, you talk about NIL, maybe positives and negatives, but now you can actually get top players maybe staying in school for multiple years. It's great for college basketball.
He's a different kid. He comes from Maine. He grew up like 30 minutes where I grew up, so I know how these kids think, and he just grew up like a Duke fan. He was a rabid Duke fan. It's like myself, and he has this opportunity to go play for a school, and you hear him in these interviews and stuff like that. Granted, you know, people could get in your ear and make you change your mind, say, listen, you got to go pro. This is the opportunity. But I think his goal in mind is to go win a national championship. And if it's not in year one and he doesn't, I mean, especially this year, I mean, they're going to be the favorite to win the tournament. But if they don't do it this year, then what? Do you think he comes back? There's a plausible occurrence, in my opinion, that I think he comes back. You can't just say that he's going to, I mean, he's ranked the #1 overall pick in the NBA draft. The NBA, to me, is not as enticing as it was when, you know, back 5 years ago. Now these kids are getting paid exceptional amount of money, and if they don't want to play for the Washington Wizards, then they can take out. It's like, you know what, we'll just take another year here at Duke. It's fun here. I'm getting paid. Who knows what's going to happen? But just an electric time. This Duke team is just extremely deep. Even when Cooper Flagg has bad games, there's just like 3 or 4 other players that just kind of pick up and have their best games. The transfers are great. The recruits that they brought in, Knippel's really good. The center that they got from Africa is extremely good. Cayman. I mean, it is. I see a team like this and I get excited.
No, I agree. And I mean, like, just speaking on that, you know, having gone to college myself, and you obviously, like, college is a great time. I mean, like, you shouldn't be rushing out the door. I mean, obviously, the only time that it made sense was the financial incentive was just so gigantic. And our guy said, you know, when you're #1 overall pick, I can't see Flagg staying. I mean, outside of just expecting, which you can't expect a massive outlier, like a big-time injury, which sets him back, you don't really have a lot to lose at this point. Like, Duke is a great school. I'm sure he has a great life there. I'm sure it's incredibly fun to just be on campus. You know, if you go back years, I mean, imagine if LeBron had gone to college in 2003. He was supposed to go to Ohio State, I believe, at the time. LeBron's on campus, plays 2 years. I mean, like, you talk about, like, not having the media so in your face, like not having to travel so much when you're 19 years old, maturing on campus, like, honestly, like most people do, just regular people in society. Like, this is a great thing, in my opinion. And I have gone away from just college basketball fandom in general because of the one and dones. There's no sustainability with rosters. And now that this is potential to see these teams actually have 2, 3, 4 years of growth, like when you were talking about that, my first thought that came to mind was Grant Hill. And if you remember Grant Hill in the 90s, he came up. I believe he was a freshman on the Leitner team, right?
Yes, 92 when he was the guy that threw the inbounds pass to Leitner for the shot. Yeah. He was a freshman.
Right. And then he played 3 or 4 years, correct?
I think he played 4. I think he played all the way through. He actually went back to the national championship in his senior year, I believe. That was 4 years after, or 3 years after.
Exactly. And I just think it's great for the sport. And like you don't like the NBA for a bunch of reasons, like load management, lack of passion for the game, totally valid reasons. I haven't gotten into college basketball because of the one and dones. And it's every year. Like I need players I can get behind, year 1, year 2, year 3. Like it can't be such a revolving door. And for me, this is the fan kind of coming back into the game. It excites me. It really does. Because I like college basketball. I like college sports in general. So I like it. And there's a lot of stuff going on. Let's talk about another game here. We got a few minutes. Our guy in the chat said, thoughts on Texas -5.5. And also Wine Time. What's up, brother? Hope those 8 a.m. shots are living well right now.
Those guys are nuts. You had Stack trying to cure a hangover with shots, and then you had Wine Time goes, you know what? I'll join you. It's 8 a.m. on the West Coast. I got you.
Anyway, guys, what do you think about Texas laying 5.5 here?
Yeah, with Texas, they're just never good as a favorite, especially with this line. I mean, they just don't cover as single-digit favorites. I mean, I think they've only covered there's 10 or 12 instances where they've been a single-digit favorite, and they've only covered 3. So Texas, to me, is just not really a team that I don't even know if they want to even play anymore. So they're going against Oklahoma team. I guess you could call it the Red River rivalry or the Red River shootout on this game. From a basketball perspective, this was a game from both sides. I just immediately passed because I just don't consider any of these teams money winners. If you told me, gun to the head, no pun intended, I would say just take the dog on that one with Oklahoma. But I'm not going to be touching this game whatsoever. I looked at it and I just passed immediately because I just don't. I think both teams are unbettable.
Yeah, here's another one, which I think is just an interesting conversation. Syracuse here at 8 o'clock, laying small, 1.5, I believe, in most markets to Virginia. Of course, Virginia, speaking of NIL and all this stuff, of course, Tony Bennett just really kind of deserting the program. I mean, like I was talking to a couple of guys in our chat. I believe Aaron Kidd, if he's in the house, what's up, bro? He was talking about, I think he's a big Virginia fan, I believe.
Yeah, he's in that area on Virginia, correct.
Yeah, and he was talking about just, how NIL disrupted the recruiting and also just the scheme and all these different things. But, I mean, the guy really did kind of leave them just out to dry, And right. But that all being said, Cuse has had a mediocre season. Cuse is in a very similar category. Jim Boeheim gone. I mean, the current regime is obviously not performing well. 6-13 in conference here. Kind of a garbage game. I mean, honestly, these teams are going nowhere. I mean, this is like a Week 18 NFL game between fucking the Panthers and the Saints or something. Like, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, where's the motivation on both of these teams? There's not a lot. I mean, the ACC is completely down this year, and it's funny that you brought up Virginia because I have Virginia Tech friends in my life that tells me that the NIL has completely ruined their program. So even the Blue Bloods are even complaining, like UNC, that they can't pull the players that they used to pull because they, their football program stinks. A lot of these guys and a lot of these teams that are operating right now, if they don't have a good football program, their basketball team suffers. So I don't know what the difference is going to be on this one because, I mean, I'm seeing some success at Kentucky, in Florida. While they haven't been the most successful football program, they're top 5 team in the country. So everybody's got excuses. Everybody's got assholes. This is one of those spots. When I looked at this game, I just saw 2 teams that are kind of cratering downward. If you want to take advantage of line functionality from year 1 to year 2. I mean, most of the time when you see games like this, they haven't played each other. This is going to be the first time, I believe, with both of these teams. But this was just, this is the first time these two teams played, so I don't have any history. I got nothing to go off of. What was the line from the previous game? I could only go back to 2024 when the team was completely different, including Syracuse. I have no play on this one. I just completely passed.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, it's a complete grease fire, no motivation in the game type of game. A couple more here, and we can continue the conversation. Our guy CJ says, recently found you from Sports Rage. Love the content, Guns. We appreciate you coming over here, bro. The Shark and the Gun have been doing this for about 5 years now, and we absolutely love to bring the top energy, sports, entertainment, and picks right here with the Shark and the Gun. And keeping it on CBB here for a minute, a couple other games here, which I think have some intrigue. Weinstein mentioned this in the chat. Troy laying a heavy minus 12.5. This is, right, I believe, Old Dominion in a horrible schedule cluster spot, right, Guns?
Oh, yeah. This is the perfect spot here that I gave out on Pub Sports, and that's what Wine Time is mentioning too. And I always say this. I'm like, if you call it the S belt, I'm going to sue your ass because it is not called that anymore. It's called the Gun Belt because I own that conference. I cash tickets from that conference. They pay me NIL to promote their conference. I'm going to call it the Gun Belt. And I think Troy is in the perfect spot here from a situational standpoint. Statistically, Troy has the edge. Their defense is ranked 75th in defensive efficiency. They're going against an ODU team that is just getting lucky in their last 4 games because their offense is terrible. They're 233rd in offensive efficiency. Their defense is mediocre at best. And I would say that with a grain of salt because they're 288th in defensive rebounds. So if you're taking up shots, guess what? You're going to get second opportunities versus this team. Then you got Troy that is 5-1 straight up in ATS their last 6 games, and they haven't played in eight days. They're going against an ODU team that is in their 4th game in 4 days. They're dogs in every single one of those situations. If you've seen the line move on this one, it's gone up, 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 up. And now they're a double-digit dog here on their 4th game, 4 days against a team that has 8 games rest. I don't know who set up the Gun Belt Conference. Maybe it was me from a betting standpoint. Maybe I created that bracket, but there's a lot of teams that have to play 3 or 4 games before they even play a team on the higher ranking that has been resting for 8 days. So I think this Troy team is going to absolutely dominate and demolish this ODU team, unfortunately. It's been a great run. We love seeing you. But Troy's going to win this one, minus 11.5.
Yeah, no, I was watching you on Pub Sports Radio earlier when you said you're going to sue anybody who calls it the Sun Belt. It was like 11 a.m. Eastern, and I actually one time was sitting there putting down a little Jameson. I was having some coffee. I almost burst out laughing across the kitchen.
I was already calling my lawyer for a cease and desist. You cannot use that name for my conference anymore. That is not existent. There's no sun. By the way, these teams see more rain than sun. So now it's called the Gun. There we go.
Yeah, I'm just responding to a few guys in the chat here. Priyank, what's up, bro? I'll send you a link. I've got stuff going on YouTube. We're doing NBA shows on YouTube as 5 days a week. Big time stuff, great stuff. We are not going away. We just have moved the content there. But another game here, I think a really interesting game here. Houston on the road at Baylor, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. So that's a late start in Texas. That's what is that? 9 o'clock in Texas. So a real late start here. National game in Waco. This is a short line. I think, again, I was watching you guys on PSR earlier and a lot of conversation. I don't know if you guys got to this one. You might have gotten to it after I clicked out. But, you see 4.5 here from number 3 Houston at Baylor, who is at first glance middle ground, to say the least. 10-9 in conference. I mean, this is your classic contrarian take on Baylor, in my opinion. Thoughts?
Take Houston. You know why?
No, I don't.
Because when Baylor's a dog, they haven't covered at all this season. Not once. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 0-9 ATS as a dog. 0-9 ATS as a dog. They lose and they get crushed.
Aren't those all road games though? Pretty much.
All but one, except for the one they're going to have today at home. So yeah, they're okay. There is an opportunity there, but a lot of these cases, when you look at their home spreads, I can't get past the fact that they haven't covered in the last 2 as favorite. Most of the time they're favorites. So they're a dog for the first time at home. Granted, it's a Houston team that is ranked number 3 as far as KenPom ratings are concerned. I mean, you can take your chances with Baylor, but every time they're a dog, and granted, a lot of those times are on the road, they play a lot better at home. If you want to be the contrarian and take Baylor, go ahead. I lean towards the Houston side. I haven't made it official. When I see them as a dog, I pass all. I just get like crazy because I've tried to like get cute with Baylor in a couple of these situations that does not work. And I know the line functionality says Baylor, Baylor, Baylor. Baylor is one of those anomalies in college basketball that in this type of situation, when they're a dog, they will absolutely screw you over. It is no play for me. If I were to lean one way, if you want to get cute, if you go, I have to bet this game, don't take Baylor, take Houston.
All right, I'll give you an argument for Baylor here. If you start to look at Houston, Houston has won, 2, 4, 6, 8. They've won 9 in a row. And if you look at their road calendar here, this is where it gets good. In the last month and a half, they won by 1 point at UCF. They won in double overtime at Kansas. They won by 4 points at Arizona, and they won by 8 at Texas Tech. They did blow out West Virginia on a Wednesday night. Key point, not Saturday. Lackadaisical performances, UCF and Kansas, both on Saturday as well. That is a key point. I just think this is a brutal trap spot to end the calendar. And, we were saying this before. A lot of the dogs have covered in big conferences today. And I do think there's a look-ahead factor to the longer game for teams like Houston. It's national championship. And we were talking about this in the NBA. My guy Priyank here, chatting the NBA. But we were saying this the other day on our show on YouTube. A lot of the teams that are planning on playing towards the NBA Finals, their calendar and their energy is totally different. This is not the last month of the regular season and then out the door for vacation. They are literally reserving energy in March, which seems counterintuitive because it's the last portion of the regular season, but they're planning on playing till June. So they're kind of just reserving a little bit. And I could see Houston reserving energy here tonight. Honestly, the line speaks to Houston losing the game by 2 or 3 points, Baylor losing by 2 or 3 points. So I think we can actually get the best of both worlds here, theoretically. I think you're actually looking at a Houston win underneath 4.5 points. And again, it does speak to these.
I didn't want to take this game because I was like, this line stinks and it smells. But Baylor is one of those teams. They will find a way to mess with you. I bet them a couple times. I've been on the wrong side. But
honestly, like again, going back to that, how many of these games has Houston won on the road in conference inside of 5 points? I believe 4. Right. So it's available for sure. And even going back to early season when they played road games over Thanksgiving. Again, you could say anecdotal. Yeah, it's Thanksgiving. It's not in conference, but they lost to Alabama in OT. And I think even more importantly, they lost to San Diego State in OT as well. I mean, as you guys know, I don't follow this super closely, but this is just psychological. It's schedule scaling. It's stuff we look at in college football, NBA, NFL, really all sports. So it applies just psychologically. I honestly see a tight game here tonight at whatever time it is, 10 o'clock. So I think
10 o'clock. Yeah, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, unofficial completely. But I honestly I could see this game ending up somewhere around, I don't know, like 65-64 Houston or something like that. Yeah, we'll see. That'll probably be the final score. That's 65-64 Houston. Darkstradamus in the house.
Darkstradamus is working his magic right now. He's got to put the genie hat on, like Karnak is what I was saying.
65-64 Houston. You heard it here first. Guns, last one, and then we'll get going here. 10:30. I was just talking about San Diego State beating Houston over Thanksgiving. Closing out the Mountain West Conference at home here. FS1 against Nevada, 10:30. Laying 6.5. Any thoughts?
Oh, wow. The Mountain West. -6.5 on that line. I think when I looked at that line shift from game A to game B, if I remember, and I'm just going off my when I originally capped it and passed, that's pretty much what the line moves have been with the Mountain West, because it seems like the home teams have been covering more often than not for the last 2 years. So the books are adjusting to it. You're seeing that line here at 6.5. I think that's kind of like right where I think it's going to be. I'm trying to pull up their sheet here. There we go. Yeah, because the problem with like San Diego State is they haven't covered it in a while. I think they've covered 3 out of the last 8. You're seeing him here as a double single digit favorite. In those situations when they're a single digit favorite, it's kind of like right in the middle, like where they typically cover those spreads. Last time they met up with Nevada, they did cover the spread 69-59, actually beat them by 19, but they're 2.5-point dogs in that one. Now you're seeing the line shift to -5.5. That kind of gives me an indicator that you're probably looking at a San Diego spot once again. I'd probably lean towards the San Diego State side. I'd hate to say it because they haven't covered a lot of spread. They kind of played a little bit bad, but they're playing a team that they've typically, or at least this year, have played well and demolished. Might be another situation we're going to be seeing here as the last home game of the season. I'd lean towards the San Diego State side, but no other play on that one.
Yeah, no, I would lean towards. I'm just looking at their schedule here. The first thing I'm noticing is there's pretty significant road versus home polarization in the month of February. They have been poor on the road, very good at home. Saturday, February 15th, they blew out Boise State by 17. They came back on Tuesday, theoretically a letdown because they just blew out a team. Nope, but beat Fresno State by 23. They beat New Mexico in their most recent home game by 8. I'm not sure if that was a cover. That might have been a non-cover. That was also a Tuesday night. But you're coming off a road loss.
Yep. And
they have been good off losses. They just lost to UNLV here. And as you said, the line is all over it. They were actually a 3.5, 2.5 dog on the road, as you said. This comes all the way at 6.5. This should be around a pick 'em for neutrality. This is heavy. Numerically, this speaks to a 13-point win here. But just conversation on this Saturday night. We appreciate you guys in the chat. 32 minutes. Guns has 3 plays. I have the conversation. As I mentioned, NBA shows on YouTube, J.A. Cavalier channel, 5 days a week, and top picks. Haven't gone anywhere, just upping the level of content and connection across the world. I appreciate you guys immensely. Guns 3 picks. Long Beach State plus 4.5. Tarleton State plus 6.5. Buy hat engaged. UCLA minus 9.5. Have a great night. Be on here shortly. At some point, I will share the NBA stuff as we go into the week. We appreciate you guys immensely. Sharky Waters Nation, 9 words of lifestyle. Ride the way we got out of the water. Guns, picks, a pleasure. Close them out with some words, and let's dominate.
Yeah, we got the Long Beach State game that has just started here at 7 o'clock. So hopefully you jumped on that one. But I appreciate the Shark jumping on, hosting the show. You can go find him on the social media channels that he's working on with J.A. Cavalier. Go check that out. And check out, like, and subscribe to the GunzPicks channel. Hit the thumbs up, hit the bell, hit everything to get in the algorithm. All algorithms that YouTube deems fit. You guys have been doing an exceptional job hitting the likes, the views, everything. I appreciate all the views, everything, and all the support. You guys have been absolutely excellent. I'm going to be back tomorrow morning for the Sunday show to break down whatever's left of the the regular season, and then we're going to be right in conference championships, daily shows. We're going to be doing a lot of content on the GunzPicks channel. That's why you have to subscribe, hit the like, hit everything. But that's going to do it here for the late night baggage edition of the GunzPicks channel. Those cash and tickets. Let's dominate the ball. And as always, let's keep dancing. Ba-bang!
It's feast or famine. Riding high, cashing in like salmon. Run the totals like a calculator's math. Guns got the formula, we on the right path. Guns picks on the air, shots fired, no miss. 2 unit bangers can't resist this bliss. Spreads and totals, we in the game. Late night vibes, cash flows tame. Dial